Good evening everybody, welcome to the stream this evening. Welcome to the studio. Anybody who's watching at the moment, I will of course say again later, but due to surgery I'm not going to be doing any carving this evening. I'm going to carry on with this because all the bits are out, and if we finish this I'll then do the punch craft. Excuse me. So I shall be carrying on with this for the moment. So I've just finished the short rings with the gold purple, so that's the end of that, and these are, so we had green, blue and green, blue and purple. So we go with the pink. Hi Default Guy, welcome this evening. I'm just trying to adjust the pliers, see if I can get them to be less aggressive. Because otherwise I absolutely hate these. Okay, and what's BGT? Because I'm making my hand sore with these. I'm almost actually considering breaking the spring, because I mean I'm having to use a lot of force to actually close this. I mean, I know you're holding a ring, so you don't actually close them, but it takes quite a lot of force to hold that. Whereas, I mean, these, for example, I can close really easy. I mean, close these with my little finger. Which means that, you know, all the spring is doing is just holding, you know, opening them up a little bit. And I'm not actually altogether sure I need that, because I can do these and oops, there's it. Hold that, and then basically it comes off anyway because you're just not applying the force. But if necessary, I can hold these like this and just release them. But the spring on these is really tight or really hard and aggressive, and some of it I think is just the fact that they're pushed so far in. So I am considering busting it and perhaps only using one of them, one of the springs. Don't know. Oh, Britain's Got Talent. Yeah. That's a bit better. I managed to shove it further down. Which one's better though? That one or that one? Maybe this one. Let me get rid of the rubbish. We'll see how this goes. Other players, you've got particularly stiff AD. Okay, obviously I've closed this ring better than I thought I had done because I can't find... oh, there it is. Hello Carl, good evening, welcome to the studio this evening. I'm continuing with this. I'm not able to do any carving tonight, I'm afraid. I was just asking how your players are, because these, I mean these, excuse me, thing. These, you know, to that point there, if you like, they're quite reasonable. But as you can see, there's no way they hold a ring. You got to squeeze really hard to overcome that spring, and they don't need to be that strong at all. So I was just wondering how yours were. Because these are really uncomfortable to use, basically. And finding, well, I suppose finding sort of flat nose pliers, flat, without serrations is quite difficult to do. Which reminds me, I want to switch glasses. Yeah, that's possibly it. And these are going to make my hands sore after a while. I know that. Trouble is, I can't really use these just because their noses are a little bit too sharp, really. Otherwise, I'd just use these. It's not so bad if I've got a good hold on it with the other pliers, but. I'm guessing the Ring Lord has great big chunky hands or something, but don't reckon much to his pliers. Lilac. Good evening, Tillybug. Welcome to the studio this evening. I am continuing to do this as I can't actually carve this evening. And I've got all this stuff out, so rather than put it away to do the punch craft, I'm just carrying on with this for the moment. See if we can actually finish it. Black and gold. Silver. So all I'm doing here is just closing up some rings so that when I carry on then they will be ready to use. Yeah, AD. Well, fortunately for me, maybe unfortunately for you. I do. I've actually enjoyed doing this. It's great. Absolutely fantastic. So yes, I will do. I shall take a look out for some. As you can see, my hand's already red. Yeah. The other hand's not so bad, but this one doesn't really show up so well on the camera. The camera's a bit blue sensitive, but you can see all the force that I've been using on those. Whereas on my left hand, which I'm not, with this one, I'm not having to overcome the spring. I'm actually holding the ring. This one, I'm having to overcome the spring and hold the ring. So. Thank you, Tillybug. That's kind of you to say that. Yeah, if I hold the ring right back down here in the jaws, I'm using I won't say no force, but I'm using a significantly lot less force to hold it back here than at the tip. Blue. Because I'm not having to overcome the spring. And it's actually a lot more comfortable to hold it that way. Could almost do with some right angled pliers really, which I know you can get. Okay. Lots of nice shiny things there, Tillybug. You'll find yourself wanting to buy lots of them. Actually, I've not looked at your Facebook page, Adi. I shall just click that for later. And I shall look at it later, but everybody, I suggest you take a look. Eddie's got some really nice jewellery pieces made out of all these little rings like this. Green. Oh no, it's not. I keep doing that. Red. I keep mixing up the pattern of the large rings with the small rings, so just opening up the rings here enough to be able to get them through, or get other rings through them. So this is just kind of like doing some preparatory work before I start adding them onto the end of the chain that's there. Green, gold. Oh, thanks very much, Eddie, for that. That's kind of you. It's this is one of those things that yeah, I keep blathering on about with tools when you don't know what what they should be like, if you like. Because I've got these, I know how soft they can be, if you like, and easy to use, and I've used pliers before. But otherwise, I'd be kind of accepting of these, and I'd probably not. I certainly wouldn't enjoy it very much if I had to do a lot with these, as they are now. I mean, I may just bust them apart just to see if that helps. Because at worst, all I need to do is wrap a rubber band around there. Oh, sorry, around here. Can I do that? No, I can't. But anyway, at worst, I just took a finger underneath, and I can use them like that if I bust the spring. And I've got two pairs anyway. Just done black, so silver. Green. Dark blue. That's a lilac colour, that's these. Actually, that's an interesting idea. I might try that. Yes, because they are. I think they are bonded, just held in with the with a heat material. I maybe try that. Shouldn't take much to do. They were just heat dipped in the first place. Yes, that's right, Tiddlybug. It is a birthday present. Or it will be a birthday present. So now that you've looked at Adie's Facebook page, how many pieces have you decided you actually would like to buy? Rose and then the black ice. For 2 minutes, yeah. Right, let's try some more. Okay, that has, I know you wouldn't do that, Adie, but I can't see a visible scratch on there, so I'm keeping that in place. But Adie, I know, would discard that ring and choose a new one. If I keep firing these all over the place, I'm going to need to do that as well. Welcome to anybody watching the stream this evening. Thank you for dropping by. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to do any carving today. I had some minor surgery on Friday in my stomach area, and that has it's made my stomach muscles sore, and I haven't been able to carve since then, because you do use your stomach muscles quite a bit. And whilst I tried a little bit before the stream, it was a little bit painful. But I've also just removed some dressings from the surgery this evening, and since one of the sites is bleeding a little bit, not that you're really interested in all this, so if you're having your tea, sorry, I don't want to put any stress on it. So I am continuing with this, and if I finish this, we'll do some punchcraft and finish that particular piece off as well. For anybody who doesn't know, what I highly suggest you do is you should see a message from in chat is a guy called 84 Guy who does this on his streams as well. He's the guy that inspired me to actually try it because it looks so much fun to do, which apart from the tools it is, but he's got some really fantastic designs, and he streams doing this sort of thing on a weekly basis on a Wednesday evening and at ad hoc times during the week, since that's how I managed to catch his last stream. Highly suggest you follow him and check him out when he does go live on Wednesdays. But also he's got a that's coincidence. Coincidence is matching colours. Oh bother. He's also got a what I'm trying to say is a Facebook page, and I suggest you check that out. It's got a number of really wonderful designs on there for you to take a look at. Alright, I'll do this as I meant to. There we go. And to save him, that's 84 Guy, his Facebook page. I highly suggest you take a look at that and look at a lot of his very nice and interesting designs, all of which actually are for sale. You can purchase them from AD. I think they're reasonable prices as well, by the way. Especially having now done some of this myself, there's quite a lot of effort goes into it. Especially when you're trying to remember which ring goes through which ring, and where, and how, and everything else. And if you're new to creative and are rather surprised at me advertising somebody else's channel, that happens a lot in creative. We're quite a cooperative bunch. But if you're interested, whilst I'm doing this evening, what I have been doing most frequently, or most recently, is I've been carving. That's wood carving, using hand tools, so hand chisels only, no power tools involved. I've been carving a dragon. It's a relief carving, so that's on kind of on the back plate. And other crafts that I get involved in doing are scraper board, which is it's a layer of porcelain clay spread over a board and then rolled flat, and then that, once it's dried, is coated with Indian ink to give it a black surface, which you then scrape off with sharp implements to create the image that you're trying to achieve. What I also do is pyrography, and that creates images using a heated tool, and that effectively cooks the sap or the resin in the wood fibres, and creates a very sort of pleasing brown monochrome type image. I also do something called punchcraft, which is a little bit like miniature rug making, in that we punch threads through a backing material to create a picture. So that's about all I've done on stream. This is my this is my second stream of doing this, because I was streaming this afternoon, but this is the first time I've ever done this. So I kind of like trying out lots of new crafts and things. So I do have, sat in a corner of the studio, some fusible beads in order to create images out of, which I will do at some point. But also off stream at the moment I do airbrushing. I also do glass engraving and high-speed rotary high-speed rotary carving, rug making, I've forgotten something, which is to put these two rings over here. I also do cross stitch and other tapestry type things, like what would be needlepoint or indeed tapestry itself. So I get involved in quite a few things. Hopefully later this year we'll be able to do some more of those on stream. Can't do them at the moment due to technical restrictions. And I do encourage you to ask questions if you have any of AD Fall Guy when he's back on his PC. And there should be some interesting streams there. Which I will definitely try and catch if I can do so. Which depends on what I'm doing at work or well, you'll tell us when you join AD from your PC, but whether they're going to be during the day UK or in the evening UK. Some of the stuff I've seen AD do is trying to understand just where the rings went, never mind how he did it. Actually, whilst we're talking about advertising other streams, 3D Bloke is around, I think. I think he said hello earlier on, and he's an airbrush artist. So I highly recommend you take a look at his channel when he's live. That's normally during the week. He doesn't stream at weekends, so he won't be on tonight or tomorrow, but Monday night he's doing some interesting semi-abstract type pieces at the moment. I think one of which he calls Insomnia, mainly because the original of it, or the first one, was painted at umpteen o'clock in the morning when he couldn't sleep, and I'm forgetting to put the rings on again. There we go. Talking so much I am messing up what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I keep on talking like this, I'm going to have to charge advertising rates. There we go. Just to show you guys, that's what we've got so far. Okay, well, if and when work allows, I hopefully will be there watching, or not watching as such, but I'll keep checking. But as I'll be at work, I probably won't be talking. But I will have it on and keep watch on what you're doing. So I was just thinking, got to be careful. I don't want you to ban me, so I don't get to watch, all your, don't get to pinch your designs. Nah, I won't do that. But it's yeah. Oh yeah, it just struck me as being funny. It's I don't consider myself a competitor at all, but in business, how many competitors would you actually let watch you actually doing your work? And it's yeah. Hopefully it's alright for you guys to see. I mean, if you'd like a close-up for a while of what I'm doing rather than this wider shot, then feel free to say so. We can change it up so you can see a little bit better. Effectively all you do is you'll see more of this top ring. Unfortunately, it's there's not much more to say, but you can sometimes see a bit better exactly what's going on. Evening 3D bloke. That's the guy I mentioned for airbrushing. Check out his streams Monday to Friday from 10 p.m. GM. 10 p.m. British summertime. That's 2100 hours GMT. I had Chinese food tonight, so I'm didn't have any cooking to do, which is good because I certainly don't feel like doing that at the moment. Sometimes these rings just will not go where you want. That's when you need patience. I can feel the adrenaline rising when they won't quite go where I want them to go. Done it again. What I've done again is forgotten that I've got to put two additional rings through this one I've just inserted before closing it. Otherwise the design doesn't work. Thank you very much, Tillybug, for that comment. And there you go. You see, get custom work as well. Not only that, you can actually get to see it constructed on stream and see exactly what it's like as it progresses, and get to choose things like colours and clasps and things like that. How many shops can you go into and get that sort of service? and certainly when it says handmade, you actually know it's been handmade because you've seen it handmade. Well, pliers made. I would like to try and close these rings by just with my hands. Okay, I've almost used up the rings that I prepared at the start, so we'll put another set of rings through and then we'll have to prepare some more closed rings. I also realise now, Adi, why you have foam matting down usually. It makes it easier to pick them up and they don't shoot all over the place if you accidentally hit one. Oops, yeah. Nearly forgot the second ring of the pair. Everything's in twos on this. Actually, most of the videos I've seen, everything's in twos. There we go. For those who haven't seen it, it's lovely and flexible. And I don't know whether it's aluminium, that's just, it's warm, it's not cold by any means. It's lovely and it has a lovely soft feeling. And all the bag charms that I've got from Adi are the same. It's got a lovely soft feel. It's not like a hard edged metal or anything like that. It's really nice. Bubbles the Monkey, yeah, good evening, welcome. Welcome to the studio this evening. You're seeing me do something different again. I promise I'll get around to your art form one day. You are part of the inspiration for having a kit of fusible beads at the other side of the room. Adi's the inspiration for trying this out. Oh dear. And I love glass blowing, but I'm not about to go out and get a propane torch. Page DRCL too, thank you very much, that's most kind of you. Oh, sorry, Holocol. No, we're streaming quite well here, unfortunately, or fortunately. It's down at your end, I'm afraid. So I last used dark purple with the blue before it. What I'm just doing there is what I'm trying to do is whilst you could do this thing in random colours, I'm trying to repeat the same colour sequence just because, no other reason than that. So what I've got them is I've got, well, this, and to help recognise them, I've got them all taped out in sequence here so that I can just follow it. And also it means that I can go, what colour is that one? And I can actually try and match it against that, I think it is. Yep. So I was just working out where I got on here. So I used because there's two different sizes of rings in use as well. So these are one size and these are a different size, and they've got different colours, or rather there's different number of colours, and I've been using them in sequence. So that's the blue and then the purple. Blue and the purple. So my next colour is one of these copper pink colour things. These rings here I'm closing up, so I'm joining the, well, not joining up, but I'm closing the gap between the rings, trying to make it a smooth join, so they don't catch on themselves or on you when you're wearing it. But also I'm told it makes the rings stronger if they are matched, close together like that. So that's pink, then red. Now we're almost down to red. So once we're out of red, I'll just have to start and miss it out basically. I guess technically I've got a couple of reds. Well, no, I've got a spare red. I've got another red here, but it's not been coloured really well. It's dirty brown colour, so I'm not going to use that. But I do have a red left on the on my colour chart there. Green. Lilac. I had an acetylene torch once, a set of welding gear, but no, not. It does tend to be a little bit like that. If something really fascinates me, I will eventually have a go at doing it, but I think I'd be going to night school or classes before I try to do anything like that. So I think Poke Ranger is quite safe. Which, if anybody who's watching doesn't know, Poke Ranger something or other, 69, not sure, does stream glass blowing and glass art, liquid glass art. So we've got black And then we're into this colour here. So just closing up these rings so they look as though they're almost a complete ring. There's a lot of silver rings. I've got a lot of silver rings left over, which I may or may not do. I may have to just I don't know, put a small chain on each end to the clasp, because it looks a little bit short for a necklace. Sort of expecting a necklace to be something like about 17 inches long. And this doesn't look like that's going to be that long. Gold, pale blue. And I'll do that for a minute. So we'll do some more of these rings here where we do open rings. So whilst these come already partially open, that's just the process by the way in which they were created causes them to be open just a little bit, but they need to be opened a bit wider in order to be able to get a ring through, or feed them through rings. There you go. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, don't I? But I know how they're produced, but that's about it. Have a look. Oh, I know it had to be for Tilly, because I haven't looked at your Facebook yet. I haven't got as far as that, and I'm kind of dreading doing so. That's the next thing I've got to make, Tillybug. So I'm gonna have a go at that. Not necessarily the colours of my choice, but the colours are of my choosing. I would choose them as well. They are, yeah. If they're anything like his little, which they will be, anything like his little charms, they were absolutely beautiful. So now that's this funny colour here. and then it's gold. I know these are yellow, but I always call this gold. But gold, you know, gold isn't that colour. Gold is that colour. Pink. What's these? And yeah, the black ice, which I've learnt, these things here, they look like the silver, but not quite. But I understand from the expert there in the stream that they're called black ice, unless of course I've just totally forgotten the name and there's something else ice, which is also quite likely. Right, carry on a bit more. Since I left that laid out in the right position, I can just get hold of it and carry on. Yeah, no, come on. There we go. That was a silver ring, I think, which just shot off somewhere. Yeah, shot off somewhere, never to be found again. So we'll get another one. Nope, that's not that. So it came so yeah, oh, it's the black ice, right. It's this one. As soon as I put the ring up to what was already here, I could tell it was the wrong colour. Couldn't tell you what colour it was supposed to be, but I could tell it wasn't the right one. I'm just catching up with Twitch. Sorry, with the messaging now. It's now that I'm concentrating on this, I'm kind of not looking up as much as I should do, and I've forgotten what it was I was dreading. Okay. Yeah. Oh dear. Well, I've got so much stuff around and bags that it could easily have dropped into a bag and I'd never find it again. But I've only lost one so far, and that was it. Whilst I lost one earlier on in the stream, I actually found it afterwards. It was one of those things that it was lost in plain view. Oh right, yes. That's, no, kind of teasing you a little bit. It's just a little bit. Mind you, you never know. You might not want to sell me anymore. You never know. I could be buying the pieces to copy. Oh dear, I wouldn't actually do that, but. Mind you, if I keep mentioning it enough times, you're probably going to believe that's what's going to happen anyway. I shall shut up about that. I just want to say thank you for inspiring me to do it. Oh, those twisted, they're quite a large ring, aren't they? There's a jump ring. Yeah, no, it's alright. I am just slightly teasing. Because I'm kind of ethical in it. Well, I'm kind of ethical. I am ethical. I literally wouldn't want to do that. It just wouldn't feel right. So. I'm wondering if what you could do with those rings, Ed, is create something like a flower design and use it like a brooch, perhaps. Yeah, possibly. I'm sure somebody possibly will do that sort of thing. Mind you, to be honest, if I bought something like this, for example, to copy, I'd be looking at it and going, how on earth was that done? I wouldn't know where to start. I'd have to know what it was in the first place, and if I knew what it was in the first place, I wouldn't need to buy it, would I, to copy it? So, but hello, who was that? Hello, Felix. I hope it was. Well, I kind of hope it was a Felix, but wasn't. Because if it's Junior, he'd be jumping on the desk and he'd be coming over here and he'd be wanting to sit on my knee. Felix, though, won't want to sit on my knee, but Felix is just as likely to come up the side of my chair and jump on the desk with no warning whatsoever. And he'll scatter everything in his sight. Well, everything in my sight. Oh dear, sorry about the loss of the... Well, I can't do anything about it, but I am still sorry about the loss of the internet you're experiencing, Holocall. If nothing else, it stops you watching me. Not good for the ego, isn't that? If everybody keeps disappearing because of the internet. Oh dear. I just have random thoughts at times, and the random thought that just crossed my mind then was, if you do turn those rings into a brooch, I want royalties for the idea. Ah dear. What have I done with it? Oh yeah. Yeah, possibly free. I was kind of thinking a little bit more like, actually, I suppose bun tins actually was coming to mind, but actually what I was thinking of was a lot of the model car people use work trays with lots and lots of very shallow compartments in. There'll be about 16 or so on a working table, if you like, around a small pad, so that they can take a part of the car apart or something and spread the parts out in, like the nuts and bolts out, so they don't get them confused. So I was thinking about something like that when you just said then the pill. It's not so bad though, as long as you don't suddenly get cats launching themselves all over the desk. Ring, you will go in that space, thank you. Yeah, actually, I was about to make a silly suggestion, and that was to solder it on, but it's aluminium. You can solder aluminium, but it wouldn't work very well, I don't think. Much pain. You could. Tell you how you could do it, AD, and that is, instead of a brooch pin on the back, metal pins. The T-bar with that's already got a pin behind it with a little they've either got the wire loop for the medal, or they have a little ring to actually just carry the medal. Maybe something like that. Not seen any. I'm just trying to think of what could be out there. No, don't forget the black rings. Something like a fob watch clasp, maybe, if such things are still around. A Legend Sadar, good evening. Welcome to the studio this evening. I do a lot of stuff, yes, but this is my first time doing this. I was inspired to do so by a gentleman who is in the chat now, Eddie Fall Guy, who does this as a job, or sort of as a job, as well as looking after kids. And I bought some pieces from him, watched him make some pieces and thought that looked really fun, and decided to have a go. So I started this afternoon. This is a present. It's a present for my wife for her birthday. But I am actually enjoying doing it, and well, apart from the fact I've got another kit to complete, I probably will start doing some of this because I just like doing it. I know where that comment comes from, Free, but I don't know. I'm not turning household objects into what's he? He's usually escaping something, isn't he, when he does that? So. Sort of like that, but not quite. Alright. Okay, so that's the end of the prepared open rings I've got, so I'll now need to open some more. But let's just... There we go. It's a small necklace at the moment. Can't see anybody. That's more of a choker size than a necklace size. And even as a choker size, that's a tiny neck. I wonder if the instructions say anything about that. I don't think it does. That looks more like a bracelet to me. And it's a bit of a big bracelet, I guess, but nope, doesn't say anything, but looks a bit short. Mind you, it's still got a fair number of rings to go, but I wonder how long it is now. We'll stretch it out, we'll be generous. Let me move that carving out of the way. Okay, 29 centimetres, so 11.5 inches, so longer than I thought, said the actress to the bishop. No, it doesn't actually. In fact, the instructions got me worried at first. I don't know if you can see what it says there. And yet, where's the facing page gone? Oh, there it is. According to the facing page, it's supposed to be that. So it did kind of worry me when I first saw it. I don't actually think the instructions are that great, to be honest. I mean, it tells you. Once you understood what it's trying to tell you, it does tell you correctly, but it's a little bit confusing to start with. And then it sort of, somewhere in these instructions, it sort of says if you want to use the coloured rings, start from step 3 basically. But it kind of like doesn't give you any indication of how many coloured rings, where and what. So, but yeah. So I was a little bit sort of perturbed when I started, just trying to work it out on earth. The thing was supposed to, the colours were supposed to be used. So we start with purple. So let's open some purple rings. The Legend Seda, not too bad, thank you. The Legend Seda. I did try a little bit before this stream to see if I could carve, but I'm still a bit painful, and I've also just now it's 48 hours after the surgery, removed the dressings, but one of them was bleeding a little bit, so I've put another dressing back on there. I'm fine, but that's another reason why I didn't want to carve, because I didn't want to put any stress on it. So there's all the gory details, I'm afraid, folks. Lots of photographs, I think, AD is probably the best thing for 4-8. And I mean the bit I struggled with, okay, on this one, because you know what a box chain is. It was okay putting these bits together here, you know, so that they're showing you two different colours. And in actual fact, I think that's a bit there. But anyway, got to this stage here, and then you know, putting that, you know, starting your next section basically. But that's the point at which, of course, you can change colours. And then, you know, each pair of rings as you go through is when you change colours. And that took me a long time to understand, and which rings were which, you know. So these are the small side of the box, and the black ones there are the flat side of the box, and trying to understand that, you know, you can have both of those the same colour, and well, it's up to you whether you have the sides the same colour at the same point, or whether you change colour. But given that I didn't have the same amount of colours for both of them, it took a bit of understanding that bit, how to actually get the colours involved, because these sorts of pictures just kind of look like somebody's dropped the rings on the table. It didn't really make a great deal of sense, and it wasn't until of course you actually get them in your hand. So what might be another way of doing it, AD, is as well as lots of pictures, is to and explaining, if you're talking about coloured stuff, how to use the colours, would be perhaps some videos. Capture some videos and drop them onto YouTube. Yeah, we'll take it easy, thank you, the Legend Seda. So, blue, red. I just love the colours of these things. Something like, especially these, I guess they're purple rather than blue, but they're sort of blue-purple. Or certainly in this light, they're sort of blue-purple. And there's some really beautiful colours, really shiny, vibrant colours, really. Blue, red, green. Gold. Blurple. Yeah, blurple. I like that one. That sounds like a nice colour, does blurple. if you do start Kits AD and want someone to read your instructions, I don't mind doing that, by the way, if you want to have someone separately take a look at them. Silver, green, 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 green. There we go. Sort of a green ice colour. You know, when I've been watching you, Adi, do this, and I've seen you sort of, you know, pick up like 2 or 3 rings and then separate them off, and I thought, why have you joined them together in the first place if you're going to take them apart? Now I know. Oh dear. Blue, that's this lavender colour. Lost in House, good evening, welcome to the studio this evening. No, it's something at this end. It's actually my water-cooled PC, and that beep is the water flow sensor complaining that there's no water flow. But in actual fact, what it is the little micro that's in there that's reading the water flow sensor keeps forgetting to send its readings to the master unit, and it beeps. What it's supposed to do at that point is shut down the PC, because if the water flow stopped, then it'll quickly overheat and, you know, be not very happy, shall we say. But because it keeps, you know, basically the I don't know what it is, something about the processors just stopped talking for a short period of time, that the PC kept shutting itself down. That I've disabled the shutdown, but it still beeps. And it's just done it again. If it actually beeps and stays on, then I might suddenly disappear off air, but that one. And the black ice. Whoops. So we've got gold, blue, gold, green, blue. Yeah, that's the blue. So I'll prepare some of these as well. Blue, purple. Oh, sorry, Bubbles. But thank you for trying, that's kind of you. I know in theory you're getting something out of it as well, like watching something well, hopefully you find interesting, but I do appreciate you trying. Purple. I will disconnect that sensor before much longer. Although I may just check my water level just in case. When I'm at portable, out portable. When I'm out with the iPad, that's the only thing I can use is the Twitch app, because quite a few people rate their broadcast as 18 plus, and for some reason on the iPad it pops up in front of the video. It pops up, you know, the broadcaster has rated this stream 18 plus. Press here to watch, and nothing happens. So I end up having to go back to the Twitch app just to watch it, because I can't watch it in the browser. Red. So that's me out of red, so I kind of hope nobody notices the lack of red from here on in. Green. So red was the first of the colours I ran out of. Green, lilac. Tell you what I watched on whilst I'm doing all this. I keep thinking about rings and stuff. I was watching a video on the internet. Somebody actually made a ring with a fairly flat weave, which was quite an interesting thing to see. Yeah, that's probably true, Holocol. That's probably true. Murphy gets you every time. Oh, that sounds nice, 84 guy. That does sound nice. Black. In case anybody wasn't around on the stream earlier, Eddie got some very nice silver rings that got like a twist built into them. So instead of these being smooth, it's as though they'd been sort of twisted around, so you've got like a spiral going around the outside of them. It looked really nice. Black and gold, and then I shall go back to adding them to the length that I've already got there. Right, quick slurp of cold tea. Safari, the original, well, Safari on iOS 1, 2, certainly the iPad 1, can handle some of the streams. I mean, it'll handle mine, I understand. But if it's got this, this warning message on 18 plus or whatever, it just doesn't want to know. Okay. I did. The daft thing is, AD, coffee especially, well, and tea, they don't have that effect on me. In fact, one of the things I well, I don't do it these days for different reasons, but one of the things I always used to do was take a big, and I mean a big, as in a big mug of coffee to bed with me, and it used to help me go to sleep. But there again, I'm odd all the way around like that. I get migraine headaches, but coffee helps them go away. And I actually understand the technical, understand the possible reason for that, but medical reason. But it's kind of unusual for lots of people. Caffeine gives people migraines. You get a lot of people, talk about the buzz of caffeine, and I don't feel that. I don't feel it at all. Kind of wonder what I'm missing in some respects, but I don't feel that, and I don't like espresso coffee all on its own, so it's too strong for me. So maybe it's got something to do with that. But they even a lot of people talk about feeling that just sort of from instant coffee. I just think it tastes nice. Well, tastes nice with milk in it. Not into black coffee. The iPad 2 may well be different. Holocall, the iPad 1 is the one. You're probably not seeing it because it's handling whatever it is that's handling. I mean, Twitch knows how old I am, so it knows I'm definitely older than 18. So presumably on things like the PC, etc., it just automatically handles whatever it is. But on the iPad 1, it's even though I am logged in, it doesn't deal with it. My wife actually is insomniac. but she doesn't drink tea or coffee at all. She occasionally drinks Coca-Cola, but usually just water and fruit juices and things. So. And of course they do say warm milk, basically, which is chocolate, is supposed to aid people to go to sleep. I'm one of the lucky ones. I just close my eyes and wake up the next morning. You'd think, having put so many rings on this, that I wouldn't forget. And I was just about to close this ring up then without putting them on. I didn't notice you doing it, to be honest. Oh, I've just done it now, haven't I? I didn't notice you doing it at all, but I just don't drink at all free when I'm going on a long journey like that. For about an hour or so before I go, I won't actually have anything to drink, because I'll end up wanting to go to the toilet no matter what it is I've been drinking. But recently I found I can only drink coffee up to 6 o'clock at night. And I don't know what it is about 6 o'clock at night. 5 to 6 is okay, 5 past 6 isn't. And it's got to be psychological, but I don't quite know why. Even if I don't know what the time actually is. So obviously it's a body clock thing maybe, but if I because I drink Nescafe Gold Blend coffee, and if I drink that during the day up to 6 o'clock at night, I like the taste of it. It's nice and I enjoy it, and after 6 o'clock at night it tastes like dishwater, really insipid and weak, and even if I make it exactly the same, Just something, I don't know, something different. Weird really, but there again, that's kind of like what I seem to be these days. You were doing a 6-in-1 weave though, weren't you, on that bracelet, if I remember rightly? Still don't know how you kept track of where they all were. That ring isn't joined properly. There we go. I'm getting a bit longer. Yeah, add your own joke to that. That ring is a bit open. Shut that down a bit. Bother. No. I possibly scratched that one, but I can't see it. I know I did replace it anyway. Ms. X Taylor, thank you very much for following the studio this evening. That's very kind of you, thank you. I do appreciate it, and I'm glad you're enjoying what you're seeing. Although I do caution you, it's not the only thing I do. This is the first time I've attempted doing this. Well, second time, because I was doing it this afternoon, but this is completely brand new to me. I do other things like I have normally been doing other things like carving and pyrography and scraperboard and punchcraft. I just do a variety of different things. Some say I'm multi-talented, others say I get bored easily. You, of course, can make up your own mind. Oh, of course, yes, sorry, it was, yes, the memory, save, I recall the conversation, yes, it was the little flowers, little flowers joined together into the bracelet, yeah. Ah dear. I remember, yeah, because I remember watching you, and every time you did the outside in the silver rings, I kept thinking, why are you adding silver rings there? And then it wasn't until you done the half, bottom half before you started that I actually saw, and on every single rosette that you did, I kept doing the same thing in my mind. Why are you adding the rings at that point? And of course it's perfectly logical why you add the rings at that point, because that's where they're supposed to go, but I kept forgetting it was outlined in silver. I kept thinking they were just, you know, on either side. You had to watch it, folks. I guess you can tell I'm fascinated by this stuff. Right, I'm about to run out of closed rings as well, so I shall have to make some more in a moment. This is the last pair of closed rings that I've got available. There we go. Still looks like a short necklace to me, but we shall continue. I have a plan if I don't think it's if it's long enough. I do have a plan. It's a plan for a boat, but that's got nothing to do with it. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. So silver. Hi ho, silver. And that's a very old reference as well. Mind you, I guess it's also a song, so. Silver. Gold. Pale blue. Darker blue. and then purple. I do not believe, no, they can't, no they haven't. I was about to say, I do not believe somebody sat down and counted out these rings, because I'm looking at it and thinking I've got 3 of those left, 3 of those left, 3 of those left, and so on. But I think it's pure coincidence. I do not believe somebody sat down and counted out however many there are. But for some reason I do seem to have 3 of everything, apart from the red, and I've got 1 red broken and 1 red damaged, and pink, no red, green, well, yeah, I was looking on eBay, and I know there are other shops available, but I was just looking on eBay, and it surprised me that even on eBay, which of course isn't necessarily the cheapest place, these sorts of rings are working out at about 1.5p each, which is kind of surprising. Or it is to me. That is the right colour, isn't it? Yes, it is. So that's the light. Now we go to black. And right, black, and then gold. Gold, gold, gold. That gold. Now I seem to have 1 ring of almost all the colours left, apart from the other ones that's got 2 or 3. But I've also got a set up there, of course, so looks like I'll be ripping my sellotape off and using them for a set of rings. So let's open some rings on here as well. Let go, thank you. So that's gold and black, and we go then to purple, which is this blue colour. Or blurple, as I believe was suggested earlier. Well, that's 1 less blurple I've got. That one I can see. red. Sorry I'm not my usual informative self. That's mainly because I haven't got the foggiest idea what I'm doing. Well, I have an idea about what I'm doing, but I have an idea only about what I'm doing, which is this one particular weave with this one particular set of colours. And I have absolutely no idea about any others. Green. Somebody must have counted them out. I don't believe it, but somebody must have counted them out. They're just too closely accurate. That was the green. Now we go to gold, which is these here. I guess you could weigh them to get an accurate count, but like they do with money. I guess you could use like a pill tray or something. You know, so many fit in a certain amount of space. Thank you very much. That is most kind of you, Eddie Fall Guy. I shall click that link now before I lose it. So after the stream, I shall look both at your Facebook site, which you can feel free to post again if you'd like, and then I shall have a look at those as well. Holla Cole! Thank you for dropping into the studio. It's been great having you around. Thank you very much for doing that. And so you have to go off to work. Or off for today. Sorry, not off to work. Yeah, possibly. I don't know though. I mean, the shop. Well, unless they buy them already. No, they can't do. The shop is... I mean, they came handwritten bags, 19 gauge 316. So... don't know, maybe they have some method, but I'm just looking and, you know, there's either 2 or 3 or possibly 4 in the odd case around. They're just too close, you know, and there's one of that, there's one of that, there's one of that, there's one of that, there's 3 of those, but... and then silver and gold there's just quite a few of. Black, silver. Which you can probably gather, I like knowing how things are done as well. Just no particular reason for it, you know. It's not like I'm going to produce a kit or anything like that anytime soon, and need to count these things out, but it's just fascinating sometimes. Used to spend a lot of time watching. There used to be a program on the satellites which was how it's made. Used to spend quite a long time watching those. Used to find them really fascinating. So blue, lilac, of which there's only one left, Actually there isn't, because there's that. Is that one over there for a reason? No. Lilac. Yellow gold. Pink. That's these. And the black ice. Right, now we carry on again. Get rid of the cat hair. No, I said get rid of the cat hair, thank you. Hey, you can play tiddlywinks with these. Come along, rings. There you go. I know you want to go there, but you're going through there. Thank you. Yeah, there's quite a few around. I mean, there's reruns and all sorts, and I just watch television these days. To be honest, there's too much interesting stuff on Twitch to watch. Okay. Have you done a photograph yet then that you can show us? And are you trying to say I'm slow? Ah dear. Just Jessup, sorry I didn't catch you earlier. Welcome back, thank you. I'm actually not taking as much notice of chat as I should be. I'm a little bit distracted, and also I'm doing this as well, and it takes a bit of concentration. Not a lot, but you kind of got to keep looking at what you're doing. Yeah, there's two or three other similar ones to how it's made as well. How do they do that? For example, I think it was one, and I can't remember another one. Right. Oh, don't worry about it, Adi, if you don't want to. I mean, I know you end up photographing all your stuff anyway, but you can give the stream an advance preview before anybody else on your Facebook get a chance. So here you are, guys. Chance for an exclusive piece, never before done. Get in there, be the first to own this exclusive piece. So exclusive that there's only Adi knows what it looks like. And I should hope he knows what it looks like, since he's the one that made it. Be rather funny if he didn't. So, I tell you what, let me tell you about what little bit I do know about these things, because I am being rather quiet, and I know that's not a fantastically good thing for you guys. Although I either suspect a number of you are watching more than one stream at the same time, which is quite alright. I do the same thing myself, and very, very, very occasionally I'll do it whilst I'm streaming myself. But what I'm doing here is, this stuff I understand is called chainmaille. Though it's not the stuff that, well, I suppose you could make armour out of it, but it's this is aluminium, not iron rings or steel rings, which chainmaille for armour would be made out of. And these have been anodised with a colour, which is where the colour comes from. So effectively they also get called, as well as chainmaille rings, they get called jump rings. Don't quite understand why, but that's what they get called. Come in all sorts of sizes and wire gauges. Seems to be how they're measured. So they measure them by the wire gauge, 18 gauge, or sometimes they measure them by wire diameter in millimetres. And then the internal diameter of the space between, you know, across the space. Then they are just well, it's called weaving together, or you create a weave with it, but essentially you're just wrapping the rings around each other in certain shapes And as you do that, you create these stable patterns. Okay, that ring's not open enough. Like this, which is, according to the instructions, is called a box weave because it looks like a box. And yeah, anyway, but it's stable. No matter what I do, these stay in that format and formation. So it's when all it is a case of just building them up using the correct pattern. If you follow the correct pattern, then you can you achieve this shape. So what I'm doing now is grasping hold of both sides of the ring and bending the ring, twisting it, sort of opening and closing the space, if you like. I'm trying to get it to line up exactly so that it doesn't catch, and it also won't catch on the person wearing it. And then I'm told it makes the ring stronger, which I suppose, relatively speaking, it does, from the point of view of if you're not catching it on anything, then it won't bend open. They're quite strong, are these rings, though, in the tension. So if you're trying to pull on them, they bend relatively easily, and they will snap as well. Pliers I'm using, both sets of pliers, have no serrations on them. They're flat, smooth inside. So they're just perfectly smooth inside, as are these, so that you don't actually scratch the rings. If you'd got serrations on there, the serrations would bite into the aluminium and would create a sort of a scratch or a ridge. Baby tears. Oh, good evening. You sneaked back in. Thank you very much for that. Getting somewhat longer now. It's going to be over a foot long. Still looks short to me, but over a foot long. But I do have a plan if necessary, because there's plenty of gold and silver rings left. I'm running out of the colours. In fact, I've nearly run out of the colours. I'm going to sacrifice my storyboard of colours up the top there, just to give myself an extra sequence. And then if all else fails, I'll resort to just using the gold and silver that I've got left, or this, whatever I've got left anyway. Yes, Mr. Sensor, I know that you think that there's no water in there, but there is. Honestly. Mind you, I could probably do with cleaning it out at some point. It's been in there for about 4 months. There may well be a little tiny bit of algae built up, but there shouldn't be, because there is an algicide in the water as well. Actually, incidentally, if you've got a water cult PC and you've got an old silver ring you don't want, throw it in the water reservoir. For some reason, algae doesn't form in water where there's silver. Don't know why. Probably some form of oxidation of the silver, I guess, must be poisonous to it, but I don't know if it has to be pure silver or any sort of sterling silver will do, anything like that, but you can actually buy little loops of silver just to do that job. Okay, and this is the last of the closed loops that I have available, so I'll have to make some more again in a second. There we go. So there you go, thank you. Still looks still looks like a really short necklace to me. I don't know, what do you think? Anyway, let's make up another set of rings. Pull these down here. So I just used that, so we're back to silver. Are they silver? Yes, they are. Okay, that's silver. Gold. Then this light blue. Light blue, dark blue, that's this one here. Next colour after dark blue was a purple. Now that's, yeah, that's that one. No, that's a different colour, that's a light purple. Okay. So now I've got another purple up there, so I'll come back to that one. That purple pink, there's a pink one there, and I've got another pink one up there as well in my reference. No red at all. Well, I've got one but I can't use it. There's green. Again, I've got one up there. I'm putting one down first because when I take the sellotape off they're all going to fall off, so I want to know which order to use them in first before I go any further. Then we get this lighter purple. Then we get black. And then the gold. And then we'll use up the colours that I've got. So we'll go to a light blue. No, we won't. We'll go to a purple because I've got 3 of them. Purple, green, blue, so I've got 2 purple. I want to do that. And that one there, and then we'll stick to gold. And 2 silver. I've got some black ice in this, the looks of it. Well, I might keep them. That. And that. Right, and then we'll do the open rings as well. Yes, it is rather like that, Tillybug. It's rather like that. Ah dear. That's kind of how he sold the Ford to me. He showed me a picture of two and then said, you know, would you like to choose from which two would you like from this four? And it was kind of like, can I have all four, please? So that blue. Blue. I shall check the length when we've just added these on. Red, green, gold. Told you I'm kind of a miser as well. I want to use them all. I don't want any left over. Because they'd then sort of be wasted. Black. Black, silver, that's these. No, that's not. These are silver. Oh, clever there, Zara. Silver, pale blue, don't have any. Dark blue, I've got one. No, that's dark blue, that's the dark blue. Then this colour, whatever this colour is. Yellow, that's this one. Rose, that's that one. And the black ice. Don't have a black ice. Yeah, okay. Actually I do have a black ice, but that's those two. But that means I don't have the one that went in there anyway, so that's fine. So we'll do those two there. That one, and then those two. Let's see how long this is. Unfold it, there we go. I have to stop putting my ruler away. Okay, 14.5. It might turn out to be just about the right length then. That's surprising. Yeah. Oh dear. Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine that. Postage is getting a bit silly sometimes. Right, I'm going to do a bit of this until I need to take the sellotape off. Come on, sit. That's better, thank you. And there's always a clasp to go on this as well, which will add an extra ½ centimetre, but I guess that means that that ring wasn't closed properly. Right. I got my fingernail caught between two rings, which meant there was a gap, which there shouldn't have been. Right, there we go. Fold that back, and then, you know what guys, there we go. It's 11 o'clock. It's been a long day today. See how much as that's added to the length of that. Yep, so at 15 inches. I'm gonna call it a day for the stream today. I'm getting a bit go down there then. I'm getting a little bit tired and a little bit frustrated with things like that. So I'm going to call it a day. It's 11 o'clock at night in the UK. That's an hour past when I'd normally stop streaming, but I've been enjoying this, and I hope you guys have as well. I may do a little bit more just while the rings are out on the desk, but I'm not going to do it on stream tonight. I'll have a chill around and look at somebody else and relax my stomach muscles a bit, and hopefully they'll recover a bit more. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching me just today at all and this evening. Thank you for the experts that have been on the stream, also to offer any advice at odd moments, as both you and someone else whose name has escaped me, and I really apologise for that, has done during the stream. If anybody else who's watching would like to see the next time I stream, hopefully this will be finished, but I'll show you it on the next one. Then generally speaking, I stream at 8 o'clock in the UK. That's 1900 GMT, or that would normally be 3 hours before whatever time it is now in wherever you are in the world. You can of course click the follow button, which is down below the window, and hopefully Twitch would tell you when I go live. Certainly the iOS apps seem to do that quite well. But if you don't trust Twitch, you can also follow me on Twitter at Zaragonart, which is also below the stream window. And then there's only, generally speaking, a tweet that goes out when I go live. I don't really tweet anything else, so you are relatively safe from thousands of tweets from me. But apart from that, again, thank you everybody. Hope I'll see you on the next stream, and have a good night.